after time, you know where to go for all this stuff.
Yeah.
And we really had a reputation for if Giant doesn't have it, nobody has it.
You're listening to the DORE Podcast, where we spotlight the people, ideas, and businesses keeping Ottawa running. From contractors to real estate investors, entrepreneurs to industry experts, we dive into real conversations and help grow everybody's pie.
Episode 26, Giant Wholesale Distributors.
And we're live.
We are live.
We are live. Live recording, but not live feed. So.
On the air. We could be.
Yeah, we could
one
be.
Day, maybe one day we'll get there.
Yeah, we could be. Yeah. We could be. I think we could do it impromptu.
I think so too.
So today we have Andy Brule from Giant Wholesale Distributors here in Ottawa. Andy, I've known you for quite a few years.
Number of years now.
And I was happy when you agreed to come on the podcast because I know it's...
When you took me for lunch, I thought there may be something up, but this is good. This is good. No,
so the lunch was worth it.
It was worth it, for sure.
No, I thought it would be interesting for people listening in because this is we try to focus on people who have businesses or started businesses and that serve the real estate market in one way, shape, or the other. And clearly you meet that those steps. So we were happy when we twisted your arm and you agreed to come in. So even though we had to have you travel for a long time.
Well, thanks for having me.
Ottawa.
Yeah, of course. Well, anyways, thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here. Beautiful offices. You guys have done a great renovation here. Perfect. Clearly, that's part of your strong suit too, but we can get to that later.
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, thanks, Andy. So tell us, give us a brief description on how you got into this business. Like what were you doing before? What led you to do that? And
yeah, for sure. I mean, okay, so I've worked like Giant. We're fortunate, like DORE Management, Giant Wholesale Distributors, a family business, second generation family business. And we're fortunate like yourself. You've had a long run in the community where we're actually celebrating 40 years now.
Oh, wow. 40 years.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. So it's a big deal. We're happy about that.
So started before you were born.
You're too kind. So the company was started in 85. I wish it was started before I was born. No, the company started in 85. I've been there myself for about 25 years, full time. Mm-hmm. Time flies. I can't believe it's already 25 years, to be honest. But no, it's been great so far. I mean, I took over operations in 2011. Myself prior to that, I was working different part-time jobs. And being a family business, got roped into that. You know how this goes. So
roped into it.
Yeah. So joined the company, and I guess the rest is history.
Okay. Oh, that's good. So that means if it's second generation, obviously, I'm assuming your parents, your dad, somebody was involved that started it.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So my father, Charles, he's a plumber by trade. So that's how we started the business. We started mainly as a plumbing supplies company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it started with a plumbing supplies company, and then over time it morphed into Giant Plumbing and Hardware Distributors. And then eventually we changed the name to be Giant Wholesale Distributors.
Okay.
Yeah. So people were asking, they were saying, why am I buying light bulbs from a plumbing company? Mm-hmm. So then in order to simplify things, we just made the name a bit more generic. Yeah.
So always been wholesale distributor and not direct to consumer?
That's correct. Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
Right? So we're always, we've always been B2B.
Okay.
We do a little bit of retail, through our website, but to be honest, it's more so to give, local people access to the products we have that we keep that some of the big box does not keep. We don't focus on that business, but we're happy to serve people if they find what they need on our site. And so that's the website has definitely given us that option.
Okay. So mostly B2B. So in today's world, like what is the target market for your company? Like who's the perfect avatar?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, our target market remains property management. So we've always focused on that sector. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've always focused on that sector. There's kind of two legs to that business, right? Because you've got the multi-res guys.
Yeah.
So your apartment buildings,
yep.
And then we have our commercial guys in the downtown core, that run, could be Class A office space or other classes of buildings, but they're looking for, might be lighting or flush valve parts, stuff like that.
Okay.
So it could be a wide range of products, but pretty much all of our clients have their own maintenance teams.
Okay.
So and that's a big deal, right? Because plumbers tend to have their own sources, but we're known in the property management market, and all those guys who have their own maintenance teams, they tend to come in and see us, and it's a centralized buying location for them.
Right.
And their guys can issue POs, do however they normally buy.
Okay.
And then we just bill them on a monthly basis.
So typically, if you have a property manager that runs a Class A type office building, what products do you like? What exactly is the product line that they would reach out to you for?
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, great question, right? So we always try and focus on products that you're not going to find in the typical retail store.
Sure.
So it could be drinking fountains, parts for flush valves, commercial lighting. Trying to think of what else.
Hand dryers, that type of stuff.
Exactly. Like washroom equipment, stuff like Bobrick and Frost. Products you're not going to see. Bobrick and Frost. So they make either toilet partitions or.
Okay. So you go that far deep into it.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. So all the dispensers, and obviously I'm assuming all the refills. So everything can be purchased through you. Okay. And I've seen also, correct me if I'm wrong, but you even sell some of the machinery, like to clean the floors, the carpets.
Yes.
I've seen you at the show, the last show that you had, you had like a lineup of different things. I mean, obviously we use you for certain parts, but I didn't realize how deep and wide your product line was.
So definitely we carry the Dustbane product line. We're a newer dealer now for Hoover.
Okay.
And Hoover Commercial has all kinds of new like cordless vacuums and stuff that they've come out with. That's becoming huge. Like, give it a few years, I don't think you'll see any more corded vacuums.
So how does that work? It works on a battery?
Yeah.
And those batteries typically, because I know, you get those residential ones, but they last for $10 and 10 minutes, and then they don't work. But this is what is the typical?
Yeah, you can have runtime from 1 to 2 hours, depending on the settings.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, they even have backpack vacuums that you can have. Okay. So there's no if you go.
You're not pulling the tube or. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I went to Las Vegas for a trade show recently in the hotel I was staying at. All the vacuuming was cordless.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's it. So it's a battery, or it plugs directly in the wall? How does that? How do they charge?
There's a large charger and a battery, and you can usually, depending on the charging unit, you can have a couple of batteries charging at once, and then, like I said, maybe you'll get 1 to 2 hours runtime on a battery, and then you can swap it out. Okay. Usually, the operator runs out of Mojo before the unit does.
Good. Okay,
well, that's if you have a few batteries. So, and it's the vacuuming is much faster because you don't. You're not encumbered by cords and stuff like that.
And you're chugging it along stairs or whatever. Yeah. So I'm assuming it's a bit lighter, easier to get into the
Mostly.
corner.
The units are getting lighter. The batteries are getting lighter all the time too. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But back to your point with cleaning supplies. Yes, we have carried the Dustbane line forever. Dustbane's made in Ottawa.
Oh, is it really?
Okay. So Dustbane's a Canadian company made in Ottawa. It's been around for 100 years or more.
Yeah.
So we've always carried the Dustbane line, but certainly in the last 2 years, we've doubled down on, refining that lineup, making sure the products are all their most modern products. And we've developed kind of our own internal selection of Dustbane that we like to promote.
Okay.
And it's all much more user-friendly products. Sure. But they're still super effective.
Okay.
So it's you still get the job done, but your guys or your cleaners, they're not losing the skin off their hands.
Right.
So we feel good about that too, right? It's good. We're trying to promote products that are new age and
local.
And local.
Okay. I am assuming in today's world that's it helps even more.
Big deal, man. Yeah, we got to do this stuff.
I know. There's nobody else that can do it, right? Yeah. So we got to be self-sufficient and look for suppliers if we can within reason. That we can self-serve, so that's good.
And we have some great suppliers, in our city, right?
Oh, absolutely. No, and that's why sometimes you just redirect, and I think most people be proud to know that ideally, if there's a source that we're able to use that source and it's local, and
why not?
Yeah,
why not do it?
Because I know, like for us, for the most part, we order smoke alarms, carbon monoxide alarms,
Yes.
all of that good stuff. So you carry all of those fire safety equipment also.
Yes.
In terms of doing that, so bulk purchases.
Yeah, so like plumbing, we've always done plumbing, hardware, electrical, and now obviously the big focus is on cleaning. So that's been our push in the last few years, just because we've had access to such good products, and we said, people are buying this whether we're selling it to them or not. And I think we can do it better than some of our competitors, right?
Okay. And I know also, I vaguely remember a chat we had a while back too, where I guess when there's buildings that want to do energy efficiency, I think you had the opportunity to order like toilets in bulk, and you talked about warehousing them and how you go through the minutia of bringing them in, having them in stock.
It can be crazy, and
those take a lot of room.
It does, yeah, it does. So we've done some big projects. Like we've done, I think our biggest one was 3,200 toilets on one project.
Wow, 3,200.
3,200 on one project. So that was, let's say that
takes a lot of room.
It does, yeah. And it was done like we did that over 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
So it's like we were getting a truckload of toilets a week, or every week and a half. It was pretty crazy.
And you have so if the truckload comes in, do they drop it off all in your warehouse, or do you drop directly at the client? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so we do.
There's a lot of moving parts there, obviously.
100%. Yeah, so we do some staging with third-party warehouses because those jobs you don't do every day, of course. So for us, when those come along, we do have arrangements like that are pre-made with contract warehouses that accept the product for us. Yeah. And then either our contractor can draw from there, or we deliver to site as needed.
Okay. And you deliver to the site?
Or the client it can be our truck. It can be our truck, or sometimes.
Okay. So you guys would go in and do the shipping if they're large loads like that, or okay.
But like those jobs are fun. I mean, they don't come every day, obviously, but
of course.
The earlier part of my career was interesting because we were doing a lot of water conservation projects. Those are kind of the biggest jobs I got involved in early.
Okay.
So we'd literally help the client set up the whole job.
Because they didn't know.
They didn't know. They knew they wanted to save water. They wanted to save money, but they didn't really know how to do it. Or they had an idea about it, but obviously there's a lot of moving parts, like you said. So we'd help them specify the product.
Right.
We'd help them line up the installer.
Yeah, because you get the wrong product in,
we'd help them get because we do a sampling of the units, right?
Okay.
So we could take a look at all the units and say, okay, based on this, we think you're going to need this, 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 and this. Less chance for surprises through the job.
And is that a non-site visit from somebody on your team, or?
Yeah, for sure. In fact, it was mostly me.
It was you actually going on site, just making sure
for those jobs because of the volumes involved. Not that I have trust issues, but
but the margin of error is you don't want to miss on that.
When a truck of 200 toilets shows up, you don't want it to be wrong. So yes, it was me. So often I'd go through, do a walkthrough, we'd sample a whole bunch of units, make sure that it was consistent, and then we'd order based on that. Yeah, and we'd also help the client secure the incentives.
Okay, right. Yeah, because sometimes you have to mail them out or apply for them, or how does that work?
It was. I'd have to.
You mean like rebates after the fact, or because it depends on the government program at the time. Whether provincial, I would suspect, or municipal, I guess at the time, right?
It was. You're right. It was municipal at the time. So we would do it through the city, and we would. There was a department, and basically they would often want to see the job in advance, just to know that there was going to be a savings, and that the motive for changing out the equipment was not for vanity purposes, that it was actually going to be functional. So they would kind of look at our proposal, and they would tell the client yay or nay on as to whether it would qualify for rebate. So, but we would set, the client didn't have these contacts, right? So we would help them set all that up, do it at a reasonable cost, and show them their ROI and everything. And
and that ROI speaks volumes, right? Yeah. You never want to know how much it's going to cost. It's how much you're going to make within that. Save on it, exactly.
Professional, reliable, local. DORE Property Management has been Ottawa's choice for 20 plus years. Call 613-227-0000 or visit dorerentals.com.
But apart from toilets, when it comes to conservation, I'm assuming, like, is there any other, is it shower faucet? Like what other
yeah, that's fair. No, it was,
piece of equipment?
we, along with the toilets on those jobs, they would usually do shower heads and aerators at the same time.
Okay.
But in the beginning, the savings were huge.
No, I know. I laugh because many years when these programs started, the city of Ottawa put a big push for water conservation. Was fantastic, but then realized that people conserved a lot of water, but there's a revenue source that comes from the water, so they have to increase the rate just to don't lose the source.
So they don't lose their shirt on their operating budget was based on.
Oh yeah, it worked really too good.
Yes. Well, we were taking clients from 13 and 18 liter toilets to 3 liters.
Yeah.
Now that didn't happen initially. We had a lot of clients that went from, let's say, 18 liters to 6 liters.
Yeah.
And then later to 3 liters. But you're right. It was very drastic in some cases. So I don't think the city foresaw that much drop in revenue.
That's right.
Pretty crazy, right?
Yeah,
you're right. Their operating budget was based on X.
Was based on, because you pay a fee based on your consumption. Yes. If your consumption goes down, which is great, we all want to save on energy, water uses, and obviously, but so
I don't think there's a financial. For a while, they were scratching their heads like, "Oh God, people!
What do we do now?"
Yeah, what do we do now? Right?
And were there any? Because I vaguely remember years ago, there was also these types of systems even for lighting.
Yes.
You can change the types of lighting, and where I used to be before, we had changed massive amounts of lighting, and the it was a third of the use. It was crazy. Did you guys get involved in that?
We did. So what happened? Obviously, the water conservation part of the business, I'd say at one point, for lack of better words, became saturated, right? So everybody had done these conversions. Mm-hmm. So then lighting became the next big thing that everybody looked at, and we did get fairly involved in that as well. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it was to the same extent that we were involved in the plumbing side, but certainly we did a lot. We did a lot of commercial towers.
Okay.
So we're fortunate to be involved in that too. And the rebates started out, they were all prescriptive rebates. So it was just you put in X product and you get so much back.
Oh, right. Okay.
And then, so that went for a few years and it was really, really good. And then I think there was a push to limit the amount of money they were spending on these programs. So they tightened up everything.
Of course.
And
it's kind of normal that you can't use taxpayer money just to fund these
endlessly.
things. You're trying to move people to a certain direction. So it makes a lot of sense. And these products, so say for example, toilets or any of these pieces of equipment, do you offer to install, or how does that work?
Yeah.
So if I have a 50 unit building and I say, Andy, we're going to change all of the toilets and the faucets, or
So typically what we'll do is we'll help you find somebody competent to get it done.
Fair enough.
Because certainly our company is we're insured as a wholesale distribution. So, we've been asked many times, can we do the installation?
Yep.
Through our contractor, and then that's kind of a gray area. So I always tell people, we'll find you somebody who has the right skills, certification, and who's insured accordingly.
Right.
And we'll do it at a fair value, of course, because that's super important.
Right.
We typically always find them somebody who can do it and somebody who's done it before too. We have a good pool of contacts in that area. So.
Yeah, a lot of them must be clients too, I guess. And
to a degree, right?
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, they're actually, so them, they're in business, their reputation. So it's a good handoff for sure.
We know it'll get done properly for the client, and they'll be happy in the end.
Yeah, no, that's important too. And obviously, you mentioned at the beginning, you're 40 years in business. This business is operating. So obviously, we were chatting before. If you're 40 years into business, there's been a lot of changes in this 40 years. One of them being podcasts.
Yes.
But do you, in how you set up now, say if somebody wants to order product, I'm assuming before they were calling or they were faxing, and I'm assuming now
faxing. Oh wow!
Right?
Made me feel old.
Yeah. It's remember pagers?
Yeah. Oh,
Mike doesn't know what a pager is, but
fax. We had kind of funny story. We had one of the first fax machines in the city.
Okay.
So as I said, my dad was a plumbing contractor, and we used to do a bunch of high profile properties that we would maintain, do the plumbing maintenance at. Right? So his plumbing business, he had it for about 15 years. And then after that, he just decided to focus solely on Giant.
Sure.
But anyways, the whole story with the fax thing was, I forget what we were doing. Some company had gone bankrupt. It was a health club or something.
Yeah.
And when we were doing some work there for the landlord.
Yeah.
And there was this machine in the corner, and it was monstrous.
Oh yeah.
And
I
the
can do
landlord,
that. It's like a calling line or.
And the landlord or the property manager who was there, he said to my dad, "You want that thing? I don't even know what it is. Get it out of here." So, and my dad said, "Sure," but it turned out it was a fax machine.
Okay.
So there was some big business that was in there.
Yeah.
But it was like literally, even though it was antiquated by today's standards, it was like one of the.
But it was
first
super
fax
efficient.
machines.
Exactly.
It wasn't efficient. Let's not get
No,
crazy,
but efficient in terms of instead of
Yes.
somebody calling, somebody have to then writing it in. But yeah.
So fax machines. So long gone are those days.
Yeah.
We started in 2019. We're still kind of a little bit late to the scene, obviously, but we started developing our web portal in 2019.
Okay.
We finished it as the sky fell when the pandemic hit.
Then you have no choice.
Yeah, so it was kind of interesting because you would think it would have started with great fury, but the reality was most of our clients weren't buying anything.
Oh, right.
Okay, so
everybody was like,
they were only doing repairs as needed, like emergency repairs.
Right.
So we're kind of sitting around at first, and the site it caught on as the pandemic ended, but the adoption rate is crazy. Like I can't believe how quickly it's come online.
Yeah.
Like
so no issues with your existing client.
No.
Okay.
And it's funny on the timing. Like I saw how high the adoption rate was. I saw how like high the adoption rate was, and it impressed me because, I thought, wow, had we not done it, where would we be, 4 or 5 years later? Because with the adoption rate being so high, you say to yourself, people were hungry for that.
Yep.
They wanted that. People want to be able to make their own decisions.
Quick, and I'm assuming also it minimizes errors in ordering.
100%.
Right, because they're the ones plugging it in.
It's a game changer,
right? So it minimizes that inefficiency of having another person involved in transmitting the information.
Exactly. Right? Yeah. So I mean, clearly little mistakes can still happen along the road, but it eliminates 90% of errors. At least, if not more. So we've been very grateful, and I think it makes the customer happier too.
Of course.
Not only do they have some control now over how the ordering process works, they feel more confident. They're not just trying to explain. You're not playing charades with the client trying to figure out what 100%. They need.
Yep.
So so that's been huge for us. Yeah.
It's interesting because prior to COVID, there's two technologies that we knew existed, but we weren't jumping on board. One of them was virtual meetings.
Yes.
So I met a gentleman years ago, and he wanted to do a virtual meeting. And I'm like, what is that? If I meet with you, I want to meet with you. Right. Anyways. And then when COVID hit, obviously virtual meetings was the only thing, or else you weren't meeting anybody. No. Right. So we continued business.
At one point we thought it was a scam.
Oh, you're wondering,
why does this guy not want to meet with me?
Exactly. But then you realize that in today's world, like for us, this is part of the team.
Yes.
Because it's so hard to get everybody into this in the same room on the same date, same time for a very specific amount of time. So now virtual meeting comes in, everybody logs in wherever they are, and then logs out. So that's a big thing. And the other thing too was the electronic signatures.
Yes. Yeah, that's a big deal.
Right? Like for us before, you'd get a lease sign or property management agreement or anything related to real estate. It was all done, scanned, emailed, back and forth. And now
it was pretty much all. Well, at one time it all had to be original signatures, right?
Of course. And now, you have to have the original template that shows you that it's been signed at this time, this day, whichever. But we would never go back.
No.
It's so efficient.
Right?
The paperwork is clear. So I'm assuming even for you, I don't know if you get involved too many with the electronic signature, but I think it's just
mostly with our lawyers and accountants and stuff like that, like our professional services guys.
Right.
Not too much with clients, but of course, it's changed everything for us.
Yeah. And it's we're never going back.
No, and it's just like you said, the efficiency. You don't need to be in the same room for a lot of these conversations. If it's convenient, sure, it's great, and you still want to do some of that.
100%. Like I prefer to meet face to face all the time, but once we have a conversation, it's just a tag team. The next steps, then sometimes it's a lot more efficient if we can't get everybody lined up.
We talked about like, can people pick up at our shop? You know, like if they order, can they drive over and pick it up? And I would never want to stop that, you know, because it's still a personal connection with our clients that a lot of our catalog competitors don't have, you know? So that's like in the pre, if you know, going back maybe to the history of our company, but like in the I wouldn't say pre-internet era, but let's say like pre-e-commerce era, people would always say to us, you know, can you get this? Can you get that? And we became like a master sourcing company, right?
Sure.
And then that was fun. It was like always challenging, but you know, after time, you know where to go for all this stuff.
Yeah.
And we really had a reputation for, like, you know, if Giant doesn't have it, nobody has it. And like literally clients would say that, and they you know, we built our business on that. That's why we're still here today. And that's
an awesome thing to be said about you.
Well, you know, I can't take the credit, right? So
but I mean about the company, right? It speaks to
We had like our general manager who was with us for 25 years, Dennis Lynn. Yeah. Anyways, he was great. You know, he was great. Like he taught me a lot. And my dad, of course, like the two of them had mechanical background, or like at least like really good knowledge of all the mechanical equipment that was out there and available. Okay. I guess, and that, like, certainly they would, you know, show me, or Dennis especially, like he was master in sourcing. So, you know, he knew where to go to get all this stuff. And in an era where things were very different, you know, we just knew where to get it, and people relied on us to get it, and we were always fair, so they didn't question it. They just, you know, that's how we grew the business. Yeah. So all that to say today, you know, it's about finding new ways to connect with new clients in a world where they're bombarded with information, right? Right. So
but I mean,
imagine, figure out, how do we do that?
But that's a cool, like, I mean, think about that. I mean, a business owner, I'm listening to this. If your client says that Giant doesn't have it, nobody has it. What a great thing to be said about you. And the fact that you're saying Dennis and your dad were mechanically inclined, obviously they knew the business. So that means they understood the client's needs, right? So you're not just trying to say, hey, we're going to see what works. You kind of already knew what they needed, and you were able to source it. Huh.
And we have, so like myself, it's funny that I'm even, you know, that I got into this, because when I was younger, you know, I never would have seen myself doing like mechanical sales, right? And this kind of stuff. Yeah. And, you know, once I saw how our clients looked at us when we looked after them with this stuff, it was really motivating, right? Because we were their go-to, like we were the candy store. I remember this one guy we dealt with, you know, he said, "Oh, you guys you're the candy store," you know, because we used to keep all the little parts that they wanted and needed to keep their properties running smoothly. Wow. But at the time, it wasn't stuff you could find online, you know? So it was, I guess, what happened is that, you know, the more I saw that and how people valued us for that, it was very motivating on our end. And then I wanted to learn more and more about it. Yeah. And here I am, like, you know, 25 years later, I'm still in the business. Yeah. So that was interesting. So, you know, and we built the company based on relationships and all of our sourcing specialization in sourcing products. But, you know, and then it's like we said, now it's kind of to figure out the next challenges and what's going to keep people in tune with our company and wanting to keep dealing with us, you know, like the newer generations as they come up.
Yeah. And I mean, the overall resounding message I'm getting from this is you really wanting to serve the client's needs. It's not just about, hey, we're going to offer this. It's really, what do they need and how do you serve them and how do you create that relationship? Yeah, and obviously 100%. You guys have been, the focus clearly has been on that. For people to say things, you know, like if you don't have it, nobody has it.
Pretty cool, eh? Yeah, it's pretty cool to hear that.
Yeah, I would say that's a pretty high standard to hit.
Yeah, and it's just we want, so it's to find new ways to keep people, you know, looking at us in that light, you know, and saying, oh, these are the people that are going to help us out.
There's ways to do it.
Yeah,
there's ways to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And people know when you're sincere too. Right?
Of course.
Can't fake that.
No, of course.
None of us can fake that. Like,
no. Well, if there's anything I know from you, you're a very sincere guy. So, I mean, for all the years I've known you, I've never always been pretty straight and sincere. And so I can see why people, you know.
It's a long game, right?
Of course.
Ottawa's a small town too.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Looking for stable income producing assets? At DORE, we help clients buy and sell commercial properties that deliver long-term value. From multifamily buildings to turnkey retail and office investments, let's talk about your next smart move. Visit us at doremultiresidential.com.
Do you serve like primarily Ottawa? Like what is the geographic area that you'll serve?
Yeah, so we typically serve like Canada, Orleans, and the Gatineau side as well. Well, we do have many of our larger landlord clients on the Ottawa side of the bridge have properties in Gatineau. So, we're not massively active on the Gatineau side, but we definitely serve a number of clients who have properties in Ottawa.
Okay.
And we want to look after them and support them there as well.
Okay.
So the relationship does bridge across the border. But yeah, we've been serving both sides of the bridge now for a long time. We do some mail order as well for different clients, but we try and limit that.
Mail order meaning?
We will have clients that will contact us through Ontario and Quebec because of our website. People will reach out asking us to send them different products, and we will do it for sure wherever it makes sense. Logistically, we'll do it for them. But yeah, still focus tends to remain always on B2B.
Yeah.
The website, yeah. So we've done orders, like large orders, like 10 skids of toilets outside of Ottawa, like to northern Quebec or places like that. And that's all based on the website.
The website. The websites and anything related to online marketing is a definite.
That's business that would have never come to us in the past.
Yeah.
Or somebody would say, hey, we need 3 skids of smoke detectors. Can you ship it to northern Quebec?
Yeah.
Sure. 100%. And like these, they're people that we can vet and we see that they're legit companies. And we say, sure, yeah, we're more than happy to help. And then we've developed more relationships there.
Of course. And then when people so typically, if you've got inventory at your at the warehouse, at your warehouse, is it typically people surround, like in this area, they come and pick it up? Do you ship them? I'm assuming. I think you said you had a truck before.
Yes.
Or or third party sourcing.
We have our same truck that runs every day for our normal runs, and then we, if we're doing something out of town. Either we'll do it, on a contract for a one-time delivery, or it could be LTL, like food truckload or whatever.
Sure.
But anyways, most of our deliveries are done locally. But getting back to how much of it is delivered, we probably deliver 95% of what we sell.
Like you specifically, like
our guy does.
Yeah,
yes,
your people,
our main driver, our main people. Yeah.
Okay, so you deliver all locally, and
we deliver probably 95% of what goes through. In sales, yeah.
Okay.
And as some people, with the counter is really, it's really, and people like us having our sales counter. And they love having that. But it's there for emergencies. Sometimes a guy's closing a unit on a Thursday or Friday, and he says, "Oh, wow, we forgot this part," or something broke. When they're putting the kitchen back together, something broke. They need a faucet. So they love the fact that they can still come over.
Exactly.
Because a lot of what we've been able to achieve for clients is consistency, right? So we can help them develop like a set list of products that they use for all their, renovations. So every time they do a unit, we always use the same parts. So we've helped them develop a good solid offering of product at a good price point rather. So if they have the option of coming to our counter, then even if something goes sideways and they've had to do that on a rush basis, they don't have to break their spec because we still have the parts.
Right.
So if they run out to like a big box store or something, yes, they'll be able to get a product, but it's not going to necessarily be what they want that's in their spec. And they're trying to maintain that consistency from one unit to the next.
Yeah, because we know things never break the last minute.
Friday, 4 p.m.
Yeah, 4 p.m. Somebody's moving in tomorrow morning, and this just broke. Yeah, that's the joys of what we do. And I mean, obviously, we're saying even earlier as well. So depending on the size of the shipment, you have like versatile warehousing that you can use. So you can serve the small property manager. You can serve the really large buildings, and you're able to adapt. Yeah, depending on whatever the need is.
We're actually branching out a bit into some new construction, high rise. We're supplying various products. Won't let it all out of the bag, but we're definitely we've got a couple of I think 3 towers right now where we have commitments in the downtown core. So stuff that's happening really soon.
Yep.
Actually, the shelves are in place. The buildings are being built right now. So so we were able to secure a couple of deals there for products and new construction. That's new for us. We never did that before, right?
Good for you.
Yeah, it was always we were always selling for products for, repairs and restoration work and stuff like that. But so now we've actually secured some deals for new construction.
Okay.
That's not our main focus, but it's definitely nice when we're able to play in that game a bit.
Of course, yeah. And in today's world, and even then, I mean, having products right away available in the odd product and being able to have somebody that source it locally, because we've dealt with suppliers where there's certain parts or certain things that they, whether HVAC or plumbing, and then they, you have this random brand that comes in, you can't get parts for, you can't order them as ordered online, and you can't get the parts, and it's broken, you need it fixed, and next thing you know, instead of fixing it, you're replacing it. So you saved a bit at the beginning, but I think for the bigger players that want to make sure that they can provide service, having you locally and having, like you say, a spec'd out product line, I would see as a huge advantage.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you say that, because you're so right. A lot of people don't realize that. You can buy a lot of products at an attractive price point, but they're not necessarily serviceable.
Exactly.
And it's not even that they're bad products. It's just that nobody carries the parts for them. So what do you do?
Yeah.
And
we've seen that.
You end up throwing it out prematurely, like 2-3 years. It's not working, and instead of just repairing it, you throw it out.
Yeah. That's nasty.
Well, it's frustrating. It's just frustrating, right?
Yeah.
Or especially in the case of something that's built into the wall, like a shower valve. I always tell people, if you're putting in a shower valve, be sure of what you're putting in, because it's not like a regular faucet where you can pull it out of the sink and it's done. But if it's a shower faucet, who wants to take a 5-year-old unit and have to rip out the shower?
And then have to do it all over. Oh yeah, no, it's crazy. No, we've seen a few of those, especially during COVID, when supply chains were disrupted and we needed product, and you get whatever you can get, and next thing you know we've had a few in HVACs or appliances or some of that effect where you're bringing off these off brands, and next thing you know they don't last as long. You can't get the parts, nobody knows how to service them, so those are nasty. So
and we feel as a responsibility, like as a business, and especially we have our like a big mechanical background. Like I would say a good portion of my family is in the mechanical trades.
Okay.
So
they know.
They know, and we understand it too. Like obviously we're very aware of that. Like we think about it, we say, okay, well, can the client service this product in 3-4 years down the road? Because that's hugely important. Because we look bad too, right? If I sell you something, they say, hey Dan, this is a great looking faucet, I can get it to you at an awesome price point, and then 3 years from now
you can't get the little rubber and
that's okay if you're a company that's here today and gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
But in relationship selling, you definitely don't want to put your customer in that position. So.
Right. And that's a big thing, right? An experience, only experience gives you that.
Exactly.
Right. So
exactly. So we vet our products pretty carefully.
Okay.
And you know what? We can still offer this stuff at amazing price points.
Right.
It's just we're just very selective, as to what we're promoting, because we know it falls back on us.
Yeah, of course. And so you mentioned obviously you have your own guys that will do 95% of the shipping. So if somebody orders something online and you have it in stock, like what's typically the turnaround to get it delivered?
Yeah, so we've definitely with the website, that's actually helped us with faster turnaround, right? So fill rates have always been pretty good, but I mean definitely our turnaround is faster.
Okay.
So now like a web order comes in, we print it and it goes to the warehouse immediately.
Right.
So typically then it becomes like a capacity thing with delivery trucks and stuff like that. Right. So we try and do things next day, but I mean, realistically, I would say most of our orders go out within 48 hours.
Okay.
So, so that's good, right?
That's very good. Yeah.
But technology has helped a lot with that over
Of course.
the years. Yes.
Of course. No, but it's good, obviously, because it's efficient. And obviously being here in the product here locally, it's not sourced, halfway through the country or somewhere else so if you have it. So, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And before, when people would give you an order on notes, let's say your guy at the order desk or lady at the order desk, whoever it could be, right? We've had both over the years. Yeah. So whoever's at the order desk, if they get backed up and then the notes stay on their pad till the next morning, right? Well, then it's delayed getting to the warehouse, etc.
The inefficiency of the delay just continues on. Yeah.
So now web orders, boom. We try and convince people to do web orders more and more because it's not for greed or what, you know, the whole process is so much more efficient.
Right. It's
less
efficient.
errors, faster.
Right.
Everything's better.
No doubt. No.
So and then we can spend more time with them on like identifying the products and their needs up front.
Absolutely.
And then we set it up on the website, and then you know, everything else follows suit, and it goes way better.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
no, that's good. No, we're all in the same boat. So I'm listening to you. And I'm like, remove the friction points if you can, right?
Well, I heard like one of your other podcasts. It was your gentleman who helps with insurance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was blown away when he started describing
I was blown away.
Yeah.
With Jeff. Jeff from Apollo.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Like
where they were looking at every step and saying like, do we need to do this? Can we automate this? But then refocus people into the things that processes, you know, that AI or whichever can do, but that need human attention. Yeah. I'll put resources on that and let the other stuff just run through the algorithm or whichever, right?
Amazing.
So
it's cool. Again, anyways, the way
I
he was describing it, I was saying this is so smart.
He's quite passionate about it too. Yeah. You put something as mundane as insurance, and he made it exciting.
Yes. Yeah.
No, it's cool. No, that's awesome.
You're facilitating processes, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Taking technology to better facilitate whatever.
I always say here, like, I mean, even if for us, like, if for, you know, every time we look at adopting some type of technology, you know, I always want to make sure anybody that's working with us is that this is not meant to cut anybody. It's make us more efficient so we can serve more people more efficiently. It's not meant, you know, I like to work with people. I like to have people that work for us. I like the engagement. I like the fact that people, you know, they're nice. They talk to people. We you know, we have that camaraderie that the clients want to deal with people. But there's certain things that, you know, if you put on a person's plate that can be done through the computer or through some type of system or process.
You're not in bed at night worrying about, did we get this
that's
part
the
of
issue.
filled out or what?
It's crazy.
Yeah, people, you know, let's say it's a form, something as simple as that, all the required fields. Well, if they don't have a field filled out, it prompts them. They got to fill it out. And then, you have all the information. It's complete, right? So it could be something as simple as that. And then you get to focus on the fun parts of business.
Well, not just that. It's just like, even for us, like for rental applications, that was the case, right? People would fill it in. You can't make out the read, what they wrote, or there's, you know, you're making your application, but I need your ID. I need to make sure that I'm talking to the right person that's applying, whichever. And now today, I mean, it's those discussions are
all automated.
It's automated because you put it in and it doesn't allow you to submit the application without having the information. So the team that runs it starts with a base where I would say 95% of the time all the information is there, and then it's a matter of getting everything confirmed. Yeah. So you're starting several steps further as opposed to always trying to get information, which is time consuming, and then time is. When you have a bunch of people applying or whichever, and then
like I said, you just want to be able to focus on the, it's giving you time to focus on the important parts of the business, and not stressing about all these little things that really you should be taking for granted anyways, that are just to be done, and you don't want to spend too much time focusing on those items.
No, so I think we're all in the same boat, and we can all learn from each other. So that's great.
100%.
At DORE, we go beyond basic property management. We pair tenants with homes that fit their lives and landlords with tenants they can trust. Inquire today and rent from people who care.
And also, I mean, obviously, I'm not hiding behind the fact that, I sell commercial real estate. We're property managers. We do. Sure, you want something? No. We develop multifamily properties, but also sell, obviously, commercial multifamily and investment property. And I know that you own the building where you operate from. So what was that? Yeah. What was that process like? In order, because I don't think this is a new thing. I think
No. So it's clearly I've always been interested in the commercial real estate.
Yeah.
Mostly commercial real estate. It's still like all real estate. Obviously, I see the benefit to ownership of real estate. Like all of our clients, through the years, I've seen them develop great wealth by investing in properties. Right.
Right.
So funny though, with our building, I had just taken over the company. Like taking over control of the company. This was maybe like 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
And like I was putting out fires left, right, and center, right? Yeah. So there was, because we had multiple people retire. It was a very challenging, stressful time. But the funny thing with the building is I ended up buying the building with a partner. Okay. So it's one of my friends. He's in real estate too. him and I, we bought the building, but in large part, I bought the building out of necessity because I didn't want to leave, right? I didn't want to move.
Of course.
I was like, this is the worst timing. I'm like, I can't move right now.
Right. Exactly.
So
it's stability.
Right?
It's
stability. And I mean, obviously, it was without question that it was going to be a good long-term investment.
Yeah.
But the reality is, that I bought the building out of necessity.
Yeah.
Because I said, I do not want to move. Like we're just treading water
fair.
here. We're getting everything like under control, right?
Yeah.
Now this is 15 years ago. It was a long time ago, but
still,
things have changed a lot now. We're in a really good spot. But it was just funny.
Yeah.
So that's how that all happened.
Yeah.
And I think of like with real estate, certainly, if I could give any advice to people, it's like, time is not on your side with real estate, right? So the sooner you can invest, like any investment, you just get into it. Sometimes it may not be
in the market.
Like in our case, it wasn't the building I dreamed of owning or whatever, but it was a building. Right. It was one we could afford.
Yeah.
So it made sense. Hey, let's buy this. We have the opportunity. Let's buy it.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like, obviously, these are great investments, as I was saying, but like. One of the elements to property ownership is like it's a protection against inflation, right?
No,
it's a hedge against inflation.
That's a big, 100%.
It's huge, and I don't think enough people realize that or attach value to that. Like,
no, I know.
You know, right? So
I know.
That's the thing. Like,
I've been invested for 25 years. I can appreciate everything you're saying. Yeah.
You know, if you rent for 10 years and you're saving your pennies and whatever, and saying one day, I'm going to buy that perfect building. Yeah. Well, guess what? By the time you get there, it probably is appreciated and you can't even afford it anymore. So like, this is like anything else. Just get into the market as early as you can and you won't be disappointed, right?
I think that's a solid move. Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah. But I told people, I'm like, just get into the market and just do something. Like just get in and be invested. And obviously don't, you want to be careful what you're buying, but unless you have no common sense and just buy at the top of the market, like you're going to be fine.
And you as an owner occupier, obviously it's a double benefit because not only, like you say, it's a hedge against inflation, but it's also security because obviously security meaning that somebody's not going to say my lease is up or I want to sell the building now, and then all of a sudden you're caught in a situation where you have to make a decision you're not ready for.
Yeah, exactly. So, you want to be more in control of that, and you want to move. Want to move, right? You don't want to be stuck.
And we see that, right? Where somebody's leasing, and because that was the easiest way to get in, which is fair. Yeah. And there's less commitment, but it's just two-sided sword. So, but there's risk from the owner as well that owns the building, leases it out, right? If that single tenant or whichever leaves, then you have a building you have to fill in with somebody else. So the risk is mutually. It's mutual. It's mutual. There's a risk both sides. So you've kind of tampered on both sides.
But you see, you'll see somebody in a commercial space or something, and then they've been renting it for years and they take it for granted and they just sign a month to month. They're like, I don't want to be committed. Yeah. But then all of a sudden they get notice and they're like, okay, where do I go?
Now, because a month to month in commercial is scary for the person who owns the asset. Yeah. Because at any given time, like said, and then if I lose my revenue, may as well try to sell it. Yeah. And somebody else will come and buy it for either investment or occupier. And then all of a sudden so the risk is shared in both sets. So it's, that's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. It's true. So anyways, it's a bit of a gamble, but you want to be in control of that. That story, right?
Yeah. Life has no guarantees, but probabilities put the probabilities on your side, right? Yes. Push for those probabilities 100%. And there's no guarantee, but it is what it is. So, Andy, this is fun chat. Is there anything that we may have omitted to talk about? Because I know we talked about the history, the transition, the services, who you serve, how business has changed over the years, how it's operationally, where it's going. And
I just think, with us, obviously we want to, like I could maybe think back to like our goals as a company and stuff. Clearly, we want to move to a nicer facility at some point. Something a little higher profile. But what we have now is serving us well. Mm-hmm. But just it's really, I think it comes down to identifying the new type of customer that we're going to be coming up against, or trying to please moving forward, trying to find their needs, suit their needs, and really find what it is that that we can do to serve them better.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's if you look at our goals in the short term, like in the short to medium term, is to really hone in on that.
Mm-hmm.
Do stuff like we're doing here, and then certainly you see the benefit in that. We talked about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a radically changed landscape in terms of the business landscape. So it's really to go back and find ways that we can be of greater value to our clients. So that's our goal. That's definitely our goal for the next few years with the company above anything else. And I just we talked about local and people buying local and how important that is.
Yeah, it's a big plus, eh?
That's a big deal, right? I mean, well, it's a big plus on our side, because we're
both sides actually. And it's good because you're serving the community, right? And the community is supporting you because you're in the community, right?
And you go to charity events. We'll go to charity events, and you see the names. It's always the same names, like local businesses that are supporting these charities and all that. And I mean, I think people as buyers really have to reevaluate, the value of dealing locally. And I think people that are in business locally here in Ottawa, any other city it may be, I think the biggest challenge for them is they're facing a perception problem, because if you take a look, are you familiar with the Merck system, like for bidding for jobs and stuff?
Yeah.
If you ever take a look at Merck's and you see like all the awards for different jobs, and we're talking like big business, right? So these jobs are being awarded to local companies.
Interesting.
Like the big box stores of the world and stuff like that. They're not being awarded these tenders. For the most part, these jobs are going to like strong, solid local businesses that have been at it for decades, right?
Interesting. That's an interesting observation.
Yeah, and I think so. Like a lot of our commercial buyers in this day and age have a bit of a like a retail kind of buying pattern.
Okay.
And they're not really looking at, because they're maybe not aware of it too, right? Like they're not necessarily aware of the commercial side of buying. Larger institutions are, right?
Yep.
Like, hospitals, universities, stuff like that. But I guess all this to say, I think a lot of local businesses are fighting perception, because the fact that they're winning tenders in these large bids on a consistent basis, it tells you that they can compete.
Of course.
Okay. Like they can be there with the big guys.
Right.
Because.
And come up with service.
100%. And there's like a whole, like we used to always win the business based on service, but we can win it based on price too.
Okay.
But our local guys have to be given that opportunity, right?
Right.
So, if you think about it, like I said, people will go and like all these jobs are being won, by strong local companies. But yeah, if we can find ways to really reach out to the clients and make them understand that, hey, just because you're dealing local, you don't have to pay more. And that's a good point.
Yeah. That you can compete even though
100%.
And then the service typically is higher because there's more of a relationship with the community, right?
And the thing is, there are tons of companies, manufacturers out there, and they all have product reps and stuff like that. And these reps are often not compensated on work that goes through big box stores and stuff like that.
Right.
So they have incentive too to make sure that the local guys are
that's a really good point. Yeah, that's right, because they deal direct.
So like I said, I don't think
that's a really good point. Yeah.
So local companies don't have a problem competing.
Yeah.
They're fighting a perception that they're not competitive, that they can't compete.
Interesting.
And that's not the reality. So, I challenge anybody out there who's a commercial buyer or to really like try and, network deeper with your vendors, your local vendors and stuff. And I think they will, you
could be pleasantly surprised.
I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Right.
So somebody listening to this, Andy, like what is the best way to reach out to Giant Wholesale?
Yeah, for sure. You can reach out to us on our website. It's giantwholesale.ca.
Okay, giantwholesale.ca, and Mike will put that in the
we can put that in
podcast,
there. So giantwholesale.ca. If they call us, email us, they can email us through the site. They can actually view the site, kind of get an idea of the different products that we keep in stock.
Yep.
If for account clients, if they have a login, they can actually see quantities of what we keep in stock.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to know if we have,
50, live inventory.
We have live inventory online. It's literally, I think the website's updated every 10 minutes. It's refreshed. So the quantities are always very current. So they definitely online, check out the website. You can see us there, and we're happy
Encourage
to help.
local.
Encourage local. It's all about it.
Andy, this was a lot of fun. Thank you for coming on to the DORE Podcast and sharing your journey, your experience, and hopefully people reach out to you, and we keep growing.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Andy. Appreciate it.
Very important.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the DORE Podcast. If you're an entrepreneur or investor focused on real estate in Ottawa, we want to hear from you. Apply to be a guest and check out our video content anytime on YouTube.